Now, before there was @FontFace, we only had a limited number of web-safe fonts that we could use and be pretty sure that every browser would understand and be able to display these typefaces. But now there's @FontFace, and what it lets us do is the user can download the font that they want to use, that you want on your site, and it'll be fine whether it's on their system or not. It'll still display because it's just being used by the browser. And the way it works is you use @font-face as the selector, and then inside of that we give it a font family name. And then the source is where this font is going to be, and here it's inside of a fonts folder, and it's called chunk5.woff. And then we have the format to tell the browser what format this font is. Now we have that at the top of our style sheet, and then anywhere we want to apply this font, we can. So right here, just like we've done before, we just want to make sure we use that same font family name. And of course, it's a good idea to have some backup fonts if for some reason the browser doesn't work with FontFace or doesn't understand it. And there you go. Then you can have some custom fonts that weren't available before. Now, the downside to using @FontFace is that different browsers understand different formats. So to be safe, you have to supply many different formats. You also have to be concerned with licensing. You have to have the right to use different fonts on your site. But luckily there are some services like fontsquirrel.com that gives you the formats and even writes the CSS rules for you. And they take care of finding fonts that are free for commercial use. So they're a good alternative to just doing it yourself. Another alternative that you'll find useful is Google Fonts. And Google supplies a link to several different formats. And in fact, it understands what browser the user is using and understands which format will work with that browser automatically. We don't have to do anything. It also provides a link to the CSS rule, so we don't even have to copy and paste it in. And finally, we don't have to worry about licensing because they're handling all the licensing and copyright. So if you go to google.com/fonts, we can take a look at Google Fonts. And here they are. And you can search for different fonts, different families, do different filters. But let's say we like this Open Sans font and we want to use it on our website. We can click right here where it says Quick Use in the middle. And it'll show us how we can use this font on our web page. So the first thing is to choose the styles you want. So you notice you can get normal or bold or light and get different weights. You can also choose different character sets if you wanted to. But usually you can pretty much leave that as default. And then here's the actual code you'll add to your website. And you notice it's an HTML link element, and it's linking to where this font lives and where the CSS is, and it's hosted by Google. And then anywhere we want to use this font, we add this to our CSS. So really what's happening is the font @FontFace is still being used. It's just being used by Google. So if I actually took this URL and copied it and pasted it into a browser, we can see how the @FontFace is being used. Let me get rid of this link tag and just have the URL. Let me try it one more time. There we go. And you notice it's still just using the @FontFace. It's just doing it automatically for us. So that's Google Fonts. Try it out. I think it'll really help you out when you're trying to choose different fonts for your web pages.